So we've come all the way down to Oxwich Bay on this very blustery day so that we can learn all about dunes. What are dunes? Well, dunes are masses of wind-blown sand that sort of form these kind of small hill-like structures all over the place. So you can find them around beaches, you can find them in deserts, anywhere where there's sand and plenty of wind. Part of their nature is that they're ephemeral, which means not fixed in place. So they're constantly changing and moving over time, and that's a really important part of how they form the ecosystem that they do. Because they're so sandy, they're very harsh ecosystems. Even in one like this, where we get lots of rain, the sand is poor quality, and because the wind keeps blowing it away, it doesn't stay in place, so it's not very stable, which makes it a very difficult place to live, which means you find all kinds of really rare species here that are only specifically suited to these kinds of environments. We used to have sand dunes going along our almost entire coastline, and they used to be a really connected system. Where animals and plants are able to sort of freely move all the way around the coast. As humans sort of came in, we started to stabilize the dunes, make them more solid so that we could use them for farming and so that we could use them to build homes. If you look at Swansea should really all be dune system, a lot like this, but we needed space to build our homes, build our houses, and so that land has become sort of very stable, and now there's no sand dunes there at all. So all these sand dune systems are broken up all around the country, all around the UK, into very sort of small pockets, which means that there's less connectivity, and animals can't move around to the different systems very easily, and they've become a much rarer habitat. So one of the main plants that you find in sand dunes is dune grass. Which looks like this, except the part that you'd see is just this little bit on top, coming out here, like the grass. It in fact has a really long, straight root that goes all the way down and spreads out. And that's because if you're going to grow in a sand dune, you need to be really well adapted to its dynamic environment. Part of the way that sand dunes work is that sand is constantly being blown around and they're constantly changing. So to grow here as a plant, you need a way to anchor yourself and the sand around you in place. And sand dune like this, the root grows deep down into the sand, and it helps to keep the sand in place, and it actually helps to stabilize the dune to stop them moving around. Over time, as these plants decompose, they can actually start to change sand dunes into a different ecosystem altogether. So this is a really great example of everything that's going on in a dune system. So we've got the root, quite obviously, we've got the roots here of the plants that are trying to stabilize the dune system. We've got signs of erosion as the sand's been blown away. These roots would have originally been in the sand, and the wind has eroded away the sand, so now they're left completely bare. And also, we've got fresh sand that's been blown on top. So this is a great example of the dunes being a dynamic system where fresh sand is coming, where old sand has been blown away, and where the plants are trying to stabilize the dunes.
Dunes are host to all kinds of animals too. They warm up quickly in the sun, and the natural rises and dips create shelter from the wind, making dunes ideal habitat for reptiles such as snakes and lizards. There's even a lizard that can only be found in and around dunes, the sand lizard. There's also lots of rabbits who enjoy eating the ready supply of dune grass, and who in turn attract birds of prey such as buzzards and kestrels. Some dune systems can even form shallow pools that are home to one of the rarest animals in the UK, natterjack toads. They're also called the running toad because of their distinctive run that helps them cross their sandy home much easier than the hopping you might expect from them.
So we've come right up to the top of the dunes here, And that's so that we can get a look of the whole layout of the dunes. And if we look, we can see that they kind of change as we go further and further back. Where we are now, it's mostly the dune grass. As we go back, it becomes ferns and scrubland. And then as we go back even further, it turns into woodland. And the reason for that is as I mentioned before, when the dune grass stabilizes the dunes, they're able to hold them in place. And then when they die and decompose, organic matter enters the sand and it improves the quality of the soil. And it makes it much, much easier for other plants to start growing there because there's more nutrients available and because the soil is much, much, much firmer and less likely to start blowing away. Because there's more nutrients for plants, more plants are able to come along, more different kinds of plants grow, and the soil becomes even more held in place and less likely to erode. And then as we move back even further, it's become woodland and trees are able to keep it firmly in place. We call that succession because the ecosystem succeeds into the next one, and every ecosystem is trying to work towards its climax ecosystem, which in this case is woodland. And if left for long enough, it would eventually all turn into woodland. So you might be wondering, why doesn't this all just become scrubland and then work its way into woodland? Why doesn't it all just become woodland straight away? And that's because an important part of how dune systems work is a constant intake of new sand. New dunes are always being made. So as sand is blown from the beach up here, we see new dunes start to form around here, and the dune grass comes in and starts to stabilize it, and the new dune sort of forms at the front. And then that will slowly start to decompose, become more solid, turn into scrubland and turn into woodland. The wind is always eroding the sand even more at the front because it's where it's taking the most battering. The wind is able to stop it from turning into scrubland straight away and sort of keeps it in these sort of fresh dune-like states at the front. We also have things like animals. You tend to see rabbits living somewhere in the scrubland. They like to live in dunes because it's easy to build their burrows and there's lots of plants to eat, and they're able to eat some of the dune grass and some of the scrubland to stop woodland from making its way up and being able to continuously grow. So there's a combination of factors. Nature keeps itself in balance. There's things like animals, we see erosion happening, and fresh sand always coming along and building new dunes, and that's why it doesn't all just become woodland.
I hope you've come to find out a little more about these amazing dunes right on our doorstep. Keep an eye out for our coasts and rock pool videos too. Goodbye!